Hello traders, and welcome to my video that's going to teach you how you can run an optimization in the MT4 Strategy Tester. Okay, so why would you want to run an optimization? Well, basically an optimization can give you um, the results based on a various combination of settings from an expert advisor just to help you find what may be the ideal settings. I'm going to get in how to do that using this expert advisor here, which is a free expert advisor that I developed myself. It's based on the moving average and RSI indicators. Okay, you can help yourself to all my expert advisors, which are all free to download by using the link in the description below. Okay, and I'm also going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of optimization in the MT4 Strategy Tester. Okay, so just to summarize, when you optimize an expert advisor, you're just basically running various combinations of settings to see which perform the best. Okay, so here we have the MT4 trading platform. This is the strategy tester window. I've loaded the EA here that we're going to be testing. You can choose a symbol from the list. I've chosen the euro dollar. Okay, and you can also choose a time frame. I've chosen the 1 hour chart time frame. Okay, for the testing model, there's three types of model by default in the MT4 platform. Okay, there are two that I use, and that's open prices only. First off, I use this one when there's an EA which has uses open prices for the calculations, as this free EA that I've coded does. It's basically a faster way to test various combinations of settings. It's a lot faster, and can be good to get an initial baseline of settings, and then when you want to fine tune things, what I would do is switch to every tick. Okay, and then every tick is a more precise method, which does take a lot longer, but is more reliable because it actually uses prices within the bar rather than just the open bar prices. And this can have an impact, for example, on stop loss and take profit levels. If you're using open prices only, then the stop loss and take profit values may actually differ from what they would be if it was you were using every tick. Okay, so it's important, I think, to once you do have some solid settings that you want to really verify for open prices only, to switch to every tick. Okay, the use date is basically the data that you want to test over, historically speaking. So I've chosen the, if we just go to what end around a week ago, and then we'll start a month prior to that. So we're going to basically test last month. Okay, just test 1 month. You can test as long as you want, but for the purpose of this optimization, we'll test actually, no, we'll test this year. We'll test this year. Scrap that. We'll test this year. Okay. We'll optimize this EA for this year. Visual mode is if you want to run a visualization of the expert advisor. Like you can see here, this is a visualization of the moving average and RSI EA on the chart here. That I've actually removed the RSI indicator from it, but for the purpose of this video, well, I'll actually run a visualization for you now, just using a moving average. Let's say 200 moving average and an RSI. Okay, I'll just run a visualization for you now. And there you go. So basically, I set this EA to sell when the CCI, the RSI period 7 is extreme, and price is below the 200 moving average, and you can see that's exactly what the EA does by looking at the chart. Okay, so that's what visual mode does, but we're optimizing, so you don't see visual mode when you're optimizing. Yeah, so that's basically the settings. You do have spread here as well. Current, when set to current, we'll just use the spread when you click the start button. Okay, but you can set it to the value you want. Perhaps if you're using a fixed spread broker, or you just want to use something high, like I don't know, 5 pips on the euro dollar, which is quite a high spread, but you just might want to make sure that you're not testing with spreads that are too low and unrealistic and can give you skewed results. Although it's worth mentioning that the results, just by way of design in the MT4 Strategy Tester, are not going to be 100% reliable anyway. In fact, the modeling quality can only be maxed out at 99%. So for the purpose of tick data testing with the best quality possible, I'd use a third-party software such as Burt's Tick Data Suite. Okay. But nonetheless, there's still these principles that I'm going to cover in this video regarding optimization apply regardless of what data you are using. Okay. So we'll use the current spread. Next thing is expert properties. So from here, under the testing tab, you can choose the initial deposit you'd want to do the test with. So we'll just say 10,000. You can choose dollars, euros, pounds, or Swiss franc. Positions, this is the direction if you want to trade long or short or long and short. So we'll trade buy and sell trades. For the optimization, you can choose the parameter that you want to try and get the best results for, whether that's the balance, the profit factor, expected payoff, drawdown, or something else. I always just leave it on balance. Okay, that's the default, and that's what I find gives me the best test based on the many years I've been testing in the MT4 platform. Okay, genetic algorithm. This is basically allowing the MT4 Strategy Tester to do combinations based on what it thinks will produce the best results. If you uncheck that, it will do every single combination of settings, which can take forever, depending, of course, on how many settings you're trying to optimize and the power of the machine you're using for the optimization. We'll leave it on just so it doesn't take an age to do these tests, and I do find that it usually manages to get the best settings overall anyway. Okay, so before we get to the inputs of the EA, you also have the optimization here, and this will basically just scrap results. If you enable any of these, it will only produce results that fit within the requirements you set here. To be honest, I don't bother with that because sometimes I want to see results, that this may limit, just so I can get an idea of what works well and what doesn't. Okay. Under the inputs, so this is the main window where you can adjust the settings of the expert advisor that you are using. As I said, this is the moving average and RSI EA, which I've coded. These pop up in email and SMS alerts. We don't need for optimization because that's just if you're using the expert advisor on your chart and you want to receive alerts. Okay, we do have use trading set to true because we want the EA to trade for us. Bearing in mind the input settings are going to be different for whichever EA you're using. However, the principles again of optimization will be the same. So days filter, this is the days of the week the EA can trade. We won't bother optimizing these. We'll just leave them all set to true so it can trade every day. Hours filter, this is the hours the EA can trade. So the hours start and the hour end. Again, I'm going to leave these the default so it trades 24 hours. Magic number, this is the order ID for buy and sell trades, which can help if you're using other expert advisors on the same account and you want to differentiate them. You can do so by giving them unique order IDs. We'll leave them at default. Broker settings, basically maximum spread and maximum slippage. Avoid trading if the spread or slippage is greater than this value, which is in pips. Money management, open orders limit. So by default, the EA allows one open order. So that can be one buy and one sell trade at any time. Lot size is just basically the position size you'd like the EA to take. The EA will only use lots if you have use risk set to false. If use risk is set to true, then the EA will calculate the lot size depending on the risk percent value that you set in this field here. So for example, if you leave that set to 2, with use risk set to true, the EA will calculate the lot size so it's 2% of the balance in the case of a full loss. Okay. Maybe we'll trade 2% risk, why not? The stop loss and take profit self-explanatory. And what we'll do is we're going to start optimizing settings now, okay? So we'll basically check. First, let me just reset the settings. So use trading, we want true. We're leaving the rest at default. We're going to use risk, 2% risk. Stop loss and take profit. So when you want to optimize a setting, you click this box here. Okay, and then you choose where you want to start the optimization. So we'll start at 25 pips. We'll step in 25 pips, and we'll stop at, I think we'll stop at 50. So basically that will optimize or test the EA with the stop loss as 25 and as 50, because we're starting at 25, we're going up in 25s, and we're stopping at 50. So two different variations of 25 or 50 pip stop loss. Check take profit, we want to optimize that. And we want to optimize the take profit. We're going to say take profit starting at 50. No, we'll start at 100 on the take profit. We'll go up in 100, but we'll stop at 500. So this means the optimization will optimize the take profit 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, because we're starting at 100, we're stepping in 100, and we're stopping at 500. Close opposite signal. This means the EA can close a trade if there is an opposite signal. We'll optimize that. True or false. Break even and trailing stop. Okay, this EA has an option to do a break even once the break even point is reached, move the stop loss to break even, and to also trail the price, the trailing stop behind the price by the trailing gap. We'll do true and false on those. And for the break even point, we'll say you can break even anywhere from 25 pips up to 50 pips. Okay. And for the trailing gap, you can trail anywhere from 25 again to 50 pips. Close percent, this will close the percentage of the trade once the break-even and trailing stop points are reached. We'll allow it to close anything from 0 to 75, and the minimum lot to close means the EA will close part of the trade until it's only the minimum lots available. For that, we will do, what minimum should we do for that? We are using fixed risk. Let's just put that on. We'll do 0.5 up to say, let's just put 2 lots. Okay, moving average. So this is basically the strategy in this particular EA. It will probably be different for whichever expert advisor you are using. You can duplicate this test if you want as well by downloading this EA using the link in the description. As I said, I have many other free expert advisors you can help yourself too. Including one that has all the MT4 indicators, nearly all the MT4 indicators built in, along with candlestick patterns and all these other features, which is pretty cool. Okay, and free. So you can, we'll optimize these. We'll set whether you want these to be true or false. Basically, moving average is buy if price is above the moving average, sell if price is below. Moving average crossover is buy if the fast moving average here crosses the slow moving average up, or sell if the fast moving average here crosses the slow moving average down. Okay, so we'll optimize those whether we want one or both on. And the SMAs, simple moving averages, these are, will optimize from a 7 period up to a 35 for the slow, for the fast ones, and for the slow we'll do from 50 to 200. Okay, so that's basically 50. It will start at 50, or test 50, 100, 150, and stop at 200. Just as the 7 to 35 will do 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. And it will just basically all these things we checked here. An optimization will combine all of these, okay? Just to see which provide the best results, which we'll get to now. And RSI extreme, basically buy if price is extremely oversold, or sell if the RSI is extremely overbought. If the RSI is not extreme, the EA is allowed to buy if it's not extremely overbought, and is allowed to sell if the RSI is not extremely oversold already. And for the RSI period, we'll do 7 to 21. Okay. You can always save your settings if you want to do your optimization on other currency pairs, perhaps, or a later date. So yeah, then you click OK. Got optimization enabled, and you just hit the start button. And now what happens is MT4 will run all the various different combinations of these settings. Okay, you can see here all the different settings, and it will just do all the different combinations based on the settings that we've checked that we want it to optimize for us. Okay, so it'll run through them all. Okay, and then you can sort by profit, by the number of trades, by the profit factor, the payoff, the drawdown, and you can see there. Okay, so if we sort by profit factor, you have some reasonable results. Nothing too groundbreaking, to be honest. How high is that in terms of profit? It just really depends what you look for. Do you want the one with the best profit factor? Do you want the one with the lowest drawdown? Do you want the one with the most profit? We just take the one with the most profit, double click it, and that double click then will load those particular settings into the EA inputs. So you can do that, and then you can save it as a set file, like moving average and RSI, euro, dollar, 1 hour setting. Okay. And you can load it when you attach the EA to your charts as well. So then we've double clicked it. Now, if we run an individual test with those settings, we can see the graph. Okay, not terrible, not the best. But there we have our set file for the previous year that we might want to consider. Okay, so that is basically how you do an optimization. Simple as that. And you can, choose another setting. Let's go for the one, I don't know, we had a nice profit factor, or some of the good profit factor. This one, less trades, but higher profit factor. Okay, not too bad. You can do this for different currency pairs, different time frames. Again, when you double click, it loads the settings in here. So you can just click save and save the set file if you want to load at a later date. You can obviously, if you want to start, you can optimize the hours, the days, or depending on the EA you're using, whatever they have available for you to optimize. You're free to optimize, just to try and get a good set of results. If you right click in here, you do have the option to skip useless results, okay, which is I check it, but if you don't, it will show you results that aren't profitable as well. Okay, and you can also save the report if you like. I don't bother doing that personally. I just save the set files that I like. Now, this is the most important part of this video, which please pay close attention to. And I do have articles on these topics on my website, but over optimization and curve fitting is a problem. Okay, and by that, what I mean is if you throw enough, at the wall, something will eventually stick, right? Just as if you do enough combinations of various settings within an EA, eventually you will find good settings that fit the particular data set that you are using. In this instance, the past year, okay? So we went through all the various combinations and we managed to get some potentially good settings, right? Which gave us a graph like this. Fantastic. However, that is over-optimized and curve-fitted to the past year of data. It may not work going forward. I can probably guarantee that it won't. And it may not have worked before the period we're testing. Why is that? Because it's just optimized or fitted to the data set we've used. And to illustrate my point, if we go back a year and use the same settings, you can see there, I can point out probably exactly where the year we optimized started, and I'm assuming it's around here somewhere. Let's see how close I am. Okay, more or less bang on there. And why do I know that? Because I can see that's when the graph goes upwards, because that's what we optimized for that period there. Okay, and look, before it didn't do well, did it? So what some traders might do is then they might just run another optimization and say, well, okay, let me optimize for the last 2 years. Okay, and it's going to take a bit longer to run because we're doing a longer period of time, but imagine how long it would take if we didn't have that genetic algorithm checked and is going to do all of these passes. Instead, it's doing a lot less based on what it thinks will produce the best results. And let's see what we got. Okay, so reasonable, not the best, but not terrible. However, let's go back another 2 years. And what happens? That happens. And let's see if we can pinpoint when the time we optimized started. Should we go here somewhere? Well, bang on. Bang on. That's exactly where we optimized from. And it goes up, but before it goes down. And I'm just trying to emphasize the fact that don't rely too much on optimization, okay? There are lots of developers who will over-optimize expert advisor, make it look fantastic, based on historical data, but they're just adjusting the settings to fit that narrative. Okay. The exception to the rule for me is when there's an expert advisor which uses the same settings, okay, on the same currency pairs or other trading instruments, and has performed over 10 to 20 years, let's say, of historical data, because that for me shows consistency. It shows that there's actually a solid strategy and it's not just hit and hope, so to speak. Okay. Because we can keep going back. We can go back till to 2000 if we want, the year 2000, the last 20 odd years. And depending when you're watching this video, of course. And then see and do an optimization and get a nice upward curve, a nice upward graph. I've got the best EA ever, but I'm pretty sure in the next 20 years it will not produce the same results. Why? Because it's been over optimized or curve fitted to that particular data set. For me, in my opinion, nothing beats a logical trading strategy, okay? Not just a load of random numbers that happen to produce good results. Okay? That being said, don't get me wrong, there will be instances where an optimization will find genuinely good sets that aren't just a coincidence. They have some logic behind them, but it depends on the expert advisor you're using. So you want to delve into what was the particular entry that gave these results. I mean, if we look at this one, it was only using the RSI being extreme, so a crossover. It was literally buying and selling when the RSI was crossing above or below the extreme areas. Okay, and it was closing on the opposite signal. All right, so that, and then using this stop loss and take profit, and then a break even as well. So that's not the worst strategy in the world. It does kind of make some sense. You're buying and selling when the RSI is extreme, but perhaps the money management is what's been over optimized to work in that instance, Okay, so just go careful with over optimization. It can be a useful tool, but there are also some limitations. And as I said, the MT4 Strategy Tester is limited by nature, simply because it cannot when it says every tick, this is going by the 1 minute charts. Okay, you can't literally do every tick unless you have a third-party software such as I said, Bert's Tick Data Suite, where you can download tick data. Okay, and then load the tick data into your MT4 platform and test tick data basically with different timestamps and so on and so forth. And I might do a video on that in the future if I haven't already by the time you're watching this. But yeah, there are limitations. I think automated trading has limitations anyway. Like looking at this chart, price below the moving average is breached this support level. Price is making lower highs. It's reached this resistance. We've got a triple top formation here. That means the resistance has been reached at least 3 times. Breakout below the moving average, breakout below this support level here. Then I can see a nice pullback. In fact, that pullback is when this support, which is strong support, then becomes resistance, and we could have traded that breakout there. Nice consolidation, a wedge pattern here as well. And you can see from that big candle there is a big breakout that traders were waiting to pounce on, and they did. If we hone in and look at the candlestick patterns, you can see there's a 3 inside down pattern there. So you've got a bullish candle followed by a bearish candle, which is at least 50% of the bullish candle's body, and another bearish candle which breaks below the initial bullish candle's bodies. That's a 3 inside down pattern. You also have another 3 inside down there. Okay, so traders were waiting for this scenario. Got an bearish inverted hammer as well. You've got a hanging man, bearish hanging man. All the signs are there for exactly what happened, a downtrend, and you didn't need no fancy indicators or anything. You just needed good price action trading. For that trade, if we took that breakout trade there, would have placed my stop loss above this high here. So you're only looking, what's that? Around 15 pips, if that. If we zoom out, we could have caught this move almost 400 pips in one trade. Don't want to panic and like, oh, You know, 50 pips around here and exit. Oh, I had a 15 pip stop loss and took 50 pips. I'm amazing. No. Stay in the trend as long as possible. I say that because I like to cut losing trades short and let winning trades run. I mean, if we've got a 15 pip stop loss and we take, let's say we've got a 15 pip stop loss and we take 4 losses in a row. We're wrong about this breakout 4 times. What are we down? We're down around 60 pips. Okay, 15 times 4. We're down 60 pips and minus broker fees, of course, spreads and commission. But then we capture a trend like this for 360 pips. We're up 300 overall. Yeah, that's the importance of money management. Rather than exiting too prematurely and then you've got to re-enter again, which you can. You know, you can re-enter here, pull back, breakout. We know it's in a downtrend, so we're only going to sell, pull back, breakout. That's NFP, non-farmers payroll, first Friday of the month candle, but we can ride the momentum of that. You know, you get your pullback, you get your breakout. You know, that's fair game as well. You can enter, but I wouldn't want to keep entering and exit and paying broker fees all the way down. I'd rather take the one good trade at the beginning and maximize it as much as possible. But there is ample opportunity. Just don't be too late to the party and get caught in a bear trap down here somewhere. I want to sell at the low or buy at the high. As soon as you see the market making these lower highs, then just, you know, avoid. I would exit my position here and I wouldn't be looking to take shorts until I see how this move plays out. Okay, so well, ideally you want to get in as early as possible. For the stop loss as well, we said the initial stop loss would be above the high. When price is falling, okay, I'd be moving my stop loss above the recent highs. So when price gets down to here, my stop loss will come here. When it falls down here, my stop loss will come here. Falls down here, stop loss here, and I just trail it all the way down on the highs. That way we can more or less, you know, our stop loss probably end up around here somewhere, and then when price turns around, it'll take us out down here, but we've still made plenty of pips if we didn't exit before when we see these higher lows in this consolidation and bullish price action. You can always close part of the position on the way down as well, should you wish, bank some pips. But yeah, so optimization, I've just gone off on a complete tangent then. I do have loads of videos on strategy such as that one you can watch. I guess I was just trying to emphasize, don't perhaps rely too much on expert advisors and automated trading when you can really just learn how to read charts yourself, be aware of some candlestick patterns. And this is the 1 hour chart time frame, so it's not like you need to stare at charts all day, pulling your hair out, stressing yourself out. You can just capture big moves like this for, what's that, in less than a month, over 300 pips. Imagine trying to get 300 pips scalping the 1 minute or 5 minute chart all day long. You know, they're completely different experiences. But yeah, back to the optimization, you can see that there are limitations to it. It can give you false hope, but then it can also be useful if there are some things you want to test or try out. Just go careful, and if you do find some good settings that you're really curious to try moving forward, perhaps run them on a demo account to begin with and see how things go. Okay, please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. I do appreciate you watching, and I'll hopefully catch you on the next one. Take care.